Zit began like any other Monday in Hollywood. The city was alive with its usual rhythm: tourists snapping photos on the Walk of Fame, traffic choking busy boulevards, and the hum of daily life carrying on as it always does. But inside a quiet tow yard on North Mansfield Avenue, something was wrong. A foul odor was drifting from one of the impounded cars. Tow yard employees had noticed it first, but at midday, when the smell became unbearable, they called the police. Officers with the Los Angeles Police Department arrived shortly before 12:30 p.m. First, it seemed routine. Cars in impound lots often hold forgotten food, garbage, or worse. But when detectives opened the front trunk of a Tesla, what they found stopped them cold. Inside the small compartment, sealed within a bag, were human remains. The Tesla had only been at the yard for a few days, but its registration added an explosive twist. It was registered to David Anthony Burke, better known as D4vd, a 20-year-old rising music star with millions of fans across the globe. The gruesome discovery raised more questions than answers. Who was the victim? How had they ended up in the Tesla? And what connection, if any, did the young singer have to this unfolding mystery? Detectives quickly secured the area. Forensics teams descended on the yard, documenting every detail of the Tesla, every fiber, every trace of potential evidence. The body had been placed deliberately in the front trunk, a space not designed for much more than luggage. It was a calculated choice, one meant to conceal. The odor, however, betrayed the crime. To fans, the name D4vd conjures up viral songs like Here With Me and Romantic Homicide, emotional anthems that propelled him to stardom. He had over 33 million monthly listeners on Spotify, more than 3.6 million followers on TikTok, and was in the middle of his Withered World Tour. He was scheduled to perform in Minneapolis the very next day. Now, his name was tied to a crime scene. The LAPD was careful in its wording. They did not accuse the singer of wrongdoing. They did not even confirm that he had been driving the car. They simply stated that the vehicle was registered to him, a fact that alone sent shockwaves through both Hollywood and the global music industry. The question remained, how does a Tesla, linked to one of the fastest rising stars in music, end up in an impound lot in Hollywood with a body stuffed in its trunk? Theories surfaced almost immediately. Had the Tesla been stolen or borrowed? Was the victim someone connected to the artist? Or was this a grim coincidence, the kind that ties an innocent name to a horrifying crime? What made the case stranger was the deliberate concealment of the remains. Whoever placed the body there didn't panic. They didn't abandon it in haste. They took the time to bag the remains, place them in the frunk, and leave the car somewhere it would eventually be towed. This wasn't accident. It was intent. As forensic investigators worked, the coroner began the slow process of identifying the victim. The body was badly decomposed, complicating efforts. Dental records, DNA, and fingerprints would all be needed. Until the victim was named, the story remained a puzzle missing its most vital piece. Meanwhile, detectives traced the timeline. The Tesla had been impounded only days earlier. What had led to it being towed? Where had it been found? Who had access to it in that window of time? And most crucially, when exactly had the body been placed inside? Hollywood has long been a city of contradictions, glamour and scandal, dreams and nightmares. But this case struck a chord even in a place used to dark stories. A body hidden in plain sight, inside the trunk of a luxury electric car, tied to a star at the height of his fame. It read like the plot of a crime thriller, but it was brutally real. Fans demanded answers. The singer's social media went silent, with comments restricted. His team issued no statements. The music industry held its breath, unsure whether this was a tragic coincidence or the start of a scandal that could derail a promising career. But for investigators, the focus was clear. Identify the victim, determine how they died, and unravel the chain of events that led to their body being hidden inside that Tesla. Theories grew darker. Some speculated it could be tied to organized crime, a message hidden in a famous name's vehicle. Others believed the victim might have been connected to the singer's circle in some way. Still others thought the Tesla had simply been in the wrong place at the wrong time, used by someone else entirely, leaving its owner blindsided by events. The lack of official information only fueled speculation. And the most unsettling detail of all was the possibility that whoever left the body there wanted it to be found. Placing a body in an impounded vehicle almost guarantees discovery. The tow yard isn't a hiding place forever. Cars are checked, moved, and auctioned. The odor of decomposition makes concealment impossible for long. So why put the body there? Why not abandon it somewhere remote? Somewhere it might never be found. Unless the goal wasn't to hide the crime, but to send a message. What that message might be and who it was meant for remains unknown. As days turned into weeks, one haunting image remained. A Tesla sitting silently among rows of other impounded vehicles, its shiny exterior concealing a grim truth inside. For now, the investigation continues. The coroner works to confirm the victim's identity. Detectives trace every step of the car's journey. And somewhere out there, the person responsible for placing a body in that vehicle walks free. It is a chilling reminder that in Hollywood, a city built on appearances, the most ordinary places can hold the darkest secrets. That behind the glitz and glamour, shadows still lurk. And that sometimes, the most terrifying mysteries begin with something as simple as a foul odor on an otherwise ordinary afternoon. The story of the Tesla in the tow yard is far from over. The questions remain unanswered. And until they are, the silence will linger, haunting both the family of the unknown victim and the millions now wondering what really happened inside that car.